How's it going?
All right. So I just spent 4 days with my mother-in-law. She came to visit. So this is actually the first time we've met. So it was very important. It was very nice. I made a really good first impression, which was important because, you know, we have the baby now. It's too late for you to disapprove, Mom, but, you know.
Uh-oh,
right?
Bad first impression while child exists.
Also, here's the weirdest thing, right? Because I've talked to Paige's mom on the phone, and briefly her dad, but her dad's hearing isn't so good. And so I know like her mom by acquaintance, like I'll talk on the phone now and then. But my mother-in-law watches my show like semi-regularly. Which means that like there's no surprises here, which is a strange way to go into that situation.
Oh no. The parasocial realm is now IRL.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So that was great. She came by. She did the very typical older person thing. If she gets to the house, and the first thing she does is like, hey, hey, you want me to start gardening out in your garden? I can play. I'm like, no, just relax. You're on a little vacation. Let us take you out to a nice restaurant. She's like, well, I could just get this garden and talking my ear off about plants and such. Hang out with the baby. Work. Baby loves his Mimi.
Is that the terminology? Okay.
That's the terminology.
Okay. Because you could go a lot of ways. You can go with Nana, you can go with Gram, you can go with...
Yeah, both grandmas were like really specific about what they wanted to be called, and both grandpas were like, whatever.
Huh.
The baby.
In our family, it was...
Baby gonna call me whatever.
In our family, it was Mama, right?
Mama?
Okay. Mama was just, that was, everyone called her Mama. It doesn't matter where you lined up on the chart.
So probably the strangest thing... By far the strangest thing was that it felt to me like I had been living my life with Shadow the Hedgehog, and now I finally got to meet Sonic. Where it's like at the start. And they're both very fast, but
yes,
but there was a point in their lives where one decided to go this way and the other decided to go that way, and it just all spread out from there.
You have only met Negaduck. You did not meet Darkwing until now. You can see the opposite definition of yes. Okay, got it.
And it's just so strange because you see mother-in-law, and this is the original, right? And you didn't realize that the situation you're dealing with is the remix.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And you're like, this is like this over here, and that's why it's like this over here, but opposite.
Yes, this correct. I had this.
It's fascinating.
Yes, no. So some years ago, I had this moment of like putting together the like, oh, look at that. You got Zagreus's hair and Persephone's hair, but the color is of Hades. Look, it's like a little bit of the two. And so you do that with the personality traits, and you're like, oh, I recognize a little bit of that nervousness right there, you know? And like, oh, there's that like super like hard work, gotta get your, you know, nose to the grindstone. There's a little bit of that, and you're like, oh, these are the ingredients and all the little pieces. And then
it's fascinating.
But every once in a while, you also see a trait that's like, oh, why is this so different? And it's like, because it's the mirror, right?
Because it's the opposite. It was formed in opposition to this
one. 100%. 100. And
I kept seeing that over and over, like mannerisms and just like little tiny things.
So I can say, like, I can fully admit, if anyone ever met my brother, right?
Yeah.
Like the one that I grew up with.
I met your brother for 30 minutes once 20 years ago.
A long time, right?
He
And
seemed nice.
yeah, pleasant guy.
That's all I got.
I think if you get to know my brother or talk to him over time or so, you will start to see where it's like, oh, here's all the similarities that we have, and then here's the things that I have in opposition to what he is, right?
Yeah.
And when you are lagging 2 years behind somebody, but you're kind of still following, you're the tails walking around behind everything that's happening. They're determining the activity, you're getting pulled into that, and they're picking first. So they're choosing, if there's two things on the table, they take the first one, you get what's second. Right?
Yeah.
A lot of what I am is absolutely in opposition to, or what I was left with, as well. You can totally see that in people that make the people you know. It's really interesting.
So, like, here's a really good example that's very obvious. Paige's mom is a practiced, consummate green thumb. She knew every flower, type of grass, tree that we ran by, couldn't stop talking about gardening and tips about what kind of clay and soil is good for whatever. And then there's my darling wife, who, as we've established, much like your own wife, not super great with plants.
Black thumb. The black thumb. The thumb of death.
On the other hand, whenever me and Paige travel, Paige is the one who handles all of the actual arrangements, because I get like nervous about traveling, and Paige was, hopping back and forth from America to Canada to when we first started dating. So she is practiced. She could do all of it, no problem, right? Paige's mom just fell to pieces on the flight over because her flight got bumped. And just every part of actually getting to us just completely fell apart. And we like picking up the phone, being like, "Hi, yeah, get on the plane."
Right.
No, we'll pick you up. Just get on the plane. I know it's the wrong plane.
This is a sequence.
But get on the plane.
That has played out many times in the past. Yeah. That is very interesting. And like when you, it's like when you, so I don't know, like did you call that shit out immediately, or?
On occasion.
Okay.
Yeah, on occasion. And we also got to have the fun moments of meeting somebody who's damn near 70 for the first time, and they say something, and you literally cannot help it but blurt out, "What? What? Really? Have you lost your mind?" It's like, it's my house, so I have a little bit of thing. But I'm like, I realize that, like, that sense of incredulity that I feel when Paige is typing in this fucking chat that she might have to drink that zombie's piss if he told her to. That emotion is also coming off her mom, just about different shit. They're cringe, Woolie. They're cringe.
I mean, I wasn't gonna elaborate, but like,
I married into cringe, and that works out fine because I'm cringe as hell.
Only if instructed to, right?
Yes, yes. I'm being messaged, and there's chat. Only if he says
only
so.
if instructed to.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Hear me out. I'm listening. I'm listening.
There was a minor cultural exchange upon the arrival of Paige's mom.
Okay.
In which we had to be like, "Listen, this is just one of those things. Mm-hmm. You have to take your shoes off." And she's like, oh, like she didn't fight it. She's like, "Oh, okay." Like, weird. It's like, no, you have to take your shoes off. It is against the law for you to not take your shoes off.
Yeah.
Americans are weird.
I mean, so that I've seen vary depending on the house to house and person to person. I've pretty much always grown up in a take your shoes off house, and then upon, I guess, making white friends, I realized that there were houses where you didn't take your shoes off, and
Those people are insane. Those people
just
are
kind of
crazy.
rolled through, and I was like, damn, okay.
Madness. Absolutely crazy.
And I guess that depends on if you have wood floors or carpeting and stuff as well. But yeah, and then there was also, like, I remember my old roommate who you knew from back in the LaSalle days, who was like
White guy?
No, Asian.
Okay, right.
Not only shoes off, but like like you can't ever get close to the bed with feet. Like there is a
what?
Like you couldn't feet can't touch the bed at any way in any way, shape, or form.
What about when you're in the bed?
Yeah, they had to figure some stuff out. I don't like it was like just okay, but after there was a whole thing with like feet on.
I've never heard of that ever.
There was a whole thing with like feet on or near the bed, dirtiness, cleanliness.
How am I supposed to jump up on the bed?
Yeah, it was more than I had ever seen. So it was a lot, and I was like, okay, there's a dial up beyond just take your shoes off, you know, socks or things like that.
I think Paige's mom was here, and just I think we might have explained it to her like 15 times, and just it never once sank in. Where she like bought a pack of smokes, and she's like, "Wow, that's expensive." It's like it's in Canadian dollars.
Yeah,
it's in Canadian money.
Okay, but to be fair, that I don't blame anyone for that, because when I look at American things, I go, "Oh my god, it's cheap." No, wait,
so
it's not.
Cheap. Whoa.
But that initial response to the number being lower is just it's baked in. It's hard to like, yeah, you have to stop and go, "Wait, no, it's not." But it feels that way whenever I see American prices.
We also like ran into like a really goofy situation where no one smokes in our life other than Paige's mom. So we had to find a spot in the yard for her to go smoke.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, so that's just as a whole, like on the downturn, like most, a lot of cigarette smoking is just dead now. You know, there's vaping around, and that's the thing. And in a lot of cases too, some people are just like, more if they're going to smoke, they mostly smoke weed, or if anything, you know. Mm-hmm. But it's become extremely minimal. There's been once or twice where it's like, oh yeah, I guess let me go put like a Coke can or ashtray out, you know, or something. But I just didn't think of that at any point.
And then I got to have the conversation where she had to buy a pack of smokes in Canada. I'm like, ooh, which one'd you get?
The collector's pictures.
I got the lip cancer one. I'm like, oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
The lung cancer one is the best.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, so you've never been to Canada before. Back when these came in, there were the good cigarette warnings and the bad ones. The ones everybody wanted was like hard, like cancerous tumor ones.
Oh yeah.
Nobody wanted the dead baby one.
Well, so I was gonna say, right? You could get the gross teeth. You could get the gross teeth and the tar lungs, which are pretty standard contenders, right? But then if you found yourself in the smoking affects your pregnancy as your collectible, that is the right
woman with the gray dress.
Yeah, that is the right arm of the forbidden one.
Yeah.
You get 4 more of those and you just win.
Dude, I remember
100%.
I remember back when I worked at the grocery store, people would come in and they would ask for specific labels, and no one ever wanted the fucking dead baby pregnancy one, to the point where there was a moment where it's like, all we have is these, and people would walk away to buy cigarettes somewhere else.
Yes, and that's when, I don't know if you ever saw them, but a couple of corner stores and couche-tards started selling cigarette cover boxes.
They did. I remember that.
And they have and you buy a little sticker that goes on the front over the gross photo, and it just says Surgeon General's warning, blah blah blah. I'm like, oh my god, it's in the same box and font, and it's just a picture of whatever normal, like, nature or
That's
so.
great.
And just literally Surgeon General blah blah. I'm like, fuck off, man. That's so nuts. Shit. Yeah, that's wild. That's a particular Canadian cigarette thing that y'all didn't see, but
Australia, I think, has the same thing
do
going
they?
on.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean that people also just like you can transfer out of the box into some holders, but that's more work than people are willing to do. And there's a whole ritual of opening and ripping out and dinging and pulling one out, etc. So if
Hmm.
people are used to that, they don't really want to deal with the transfer.